Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of week 3 on perimeter. Our I can statement for today, or what we're going to be focusing on, is I can find the perimeter of irregular shapes. So when I use the word irregular shapes, we're talking about the shapes where all sides may not be equal. They're not the shapes that we're used to seeing. Irregular shapes can also include circles because they do not have sides. Before we jump into our I can statement, I do want to do a little bit of fluency practice. So remember, you can pause me, go get a piece of paper and a pencil or a whiteboard, and let's review some of our perimeter questions. I'm going to give you guys some shapes, and we're going to work together to quickly find the area. Your first one is a square. And a square, we know all 4 sides are the same, so each side is going to be 7 inches. What equation could I write to find my perimeter? I could write 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7, but another way to do repeated addition is to multiply. How many groups of 7 do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can write 4 times 7, which is 7, 14, 21, 28, 28. So the perimeter of my square is 28 inches. Let's try another one. Go ahead and wipe off or get another piece of paper. And let's look at this one. I'm going to draw a pentagon. Does anyone remember what penta means? The prefix penta means 5. So this is going to be a shape with 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's go ahead and label it. 4 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches. And we can go ahead and write our equation down at the bottom. Now we notice this shape does not have all equal sides, so it may not be the best strategy to write a multiplication sentence. So we're just going to write 4. I'm going to put all the 4s together though. 4 plus 4 plus 4, and then I'm going to put my 5s together. Plus 5 plus 5. And I can do a little bit of skip counting here. I know this is 4, 8, 12. So I'm going to put all 3 of these together and put a 12. 5 and 5, 5, 10. 12 plus 10, well, I know 10 more than 12 is 22. So the perimeter of this shape is 22 inches. Let's do another one. Let's look at this triangle. See if you can draw it on your board. Remember, you can pause me at any time to take a break, get your work drawn, solve it, and then check your work with my work if you want to do it that way too. Let's do this side, 6 inches. Let's do this side, 10 inches, and this side, 10 inches. And let's write our equation. Perimeter equals, I'm going to put the same numbers together. So 10 plus 10 plus 6. So mental math. 10 plus 10, that makes 20. 20 plus 6, 26. 26 inches. Now, if you look at my anchor chart behind me, I have some shapes that we haven't necessarily tried before. So let's look at our first one. And the reason I want to look at a circle is because I've noticed that some of you guys have had this question on CERN and we've never talked about it. So let's go through it. It says, how do we find the perimeter of a circle? Now, something we know about a circle is that it doesn't have sides. So to measure the lengths of a side can be kind of tricky. Because, for example, if we had a square, it would be easy for me to get a ruler, take the ruler, measure each side length. But a ruler is straight, and you can't use that to measure a shape that has no straight side. So we have a couple of different strategies. One strategy is we can use a measuring tape, such as this. If you have a measuring tape that bends, you can simply start it and have your measuring tape go around the perimeter and mark where it bends. Let's see if this is so we can do it more. See how I filled in the shape perfectly? I'm going to lock it so that it stays in position, and I see that I need some more. and then I can measure it. So if I look up here on my actual tape measure, I see where it ended was right at, this is 12 inches, 13, 14, because it went 12, 1, 2, so that would be 12 plus 1 is 13, 14. So I could say the perimeter of this circle is 14 inches. Let's say I didn't have a tape measure, but what I could use is something to test how long it is. I can use a string. Same thing. I mark where it starts, and I take my string, and I kind of, it's hard because my paper is upright and not flat, so my string kind of falls down. But I'm going to do the best I can to line my string up with the side, and I'm going to mark my finger where it ends, where it meets back in the middle. And I'm going to hold that, and then I can measure my string from here to here. I'm going to use my tape measure again because I don't have a ruler in front of me. And I should get, again, about 14 inches, which I did. So these are two strategies we can use if we ever have a circle on an assignment or in real life and we need to find the perimeter. We can use measuring tools that can't bend to make curves like a circle. Or if we don't have that, we can use a string to fill in the perimeter and then measure the length of the string. So I'm going to go ahead and label for right now. So now perimeter 14, and I measured this in inches. Now let's look at some of our other shapes on our chart. My first shape is up here in pink, and notice I didn't label the name of the shape. This doesn't look like a shape we're used to seeing all the time. So how do we decide what kind of shape it is? We need to count the side lengths. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my sides as I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do I call a shape that has 6 sides? Well, I know the prefix for 6 is hexa, so this is a hexagon. Even though it doesn't look like a hexagon that we're used to seeing, any shape with 6 sides classifies as a hexagon. Just a little bit cut off. Now, we want to go ahead and find the perimeter. I wouldn't worry at home about taking the time to try and draw this shape because it is a little bit tricky to draw. But what I am going to do is go ahead and write my equation for the perimeter. So I see 2 5s, so I'm going to write 5 plus 5. And then I see 1, 2, 3, 4 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to add 5 plus 5, I know that's 5, 10. And then if I have 4 2s, that's 2, 4, 6, 8. 10 plus 8, I know makes 18. And let me look for my unit. I labeled this inches. So the perimeter of this shape is 18 inches. Now let's go to number 2. Again, that looks like a shape we're not totally used to seeing, so I don't know what it's called. So my best strategy is to go ahead and count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This shape also has 6 sides. Even though it looks very different than this shape, they both have 6 sides, which means they're both hexagons. And then again, I can write my equation to find my perimeter. So, I see a bunch here. I see a 6 plus 5, and then I see 1, 2, 3 3s. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. So let's see what I can group here. I know 6 plus 5, that's 11. I know 3 plus 3 plus 3, that's 3, 6, 9. And then I bring down my 2. 11 plus 9, ooh, that's a 10 fact. I know 1 plus 9 makes 10, so 11 plus 9 makes 20. Plus 2, perimeter is 22. Now this time it's labeled centimeters. So 22 centimeters. Go ahead and label. Now I did throw in one challenge problem. And this is a problem that we're going to talk more about later in the week, but I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a little introduction now. If you notice, this shape is the same as this shape above. It has 6 sides. I'm going to label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means it's a hexagon. But if you notice, I have a missing side here and here. So before I can find my perimeter, I need to figure out how do we find the missing side. Now this is something that we actually worked on when we were doing area problems. And we had to kind of do some math to figure this out. We know already that opposite sides are equal. So that if this whole side is 3 centimeters, that would mean this part and this part would have to add together to give me 3 centimeters. But I see that I'm only at 2 centimeters. So 2 plus what will get me to 3 centimeters? 2, 3. So that means this missing side right here is 1 centimeter. Then I have this side. Same thing. I know this entire length is 4 centimeters. And I know from here to here is 2. So I need to figure out this other part. In other words, 2 plus what will bring me to 4? 2 centimeters. So I can fill in this one as 2 centimeters. Now I have all of my sides filled in, and I can label my perimeter. So it's going to be 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2. I'm going to make sure I have all of my sides. I know that there are 6 sides, so I should have 6 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Now I can add, and I'm going to show my work for this on my whiteboard so I have a little bit more space. So perimeter equals 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2. Again, I like that strategy of putting all of my same numbers together so I can skip count them. So I'm going to take this 2, and this 2 and put them together. I know that makes 2, 4, 6. And I'm also going to bring down this 1 that I haven't used yet. And I know 4 plus 3, that makes 7. So now I need to add 7 plus 1 plus 6. 7 plus 1, I know that's 8. And then 8 plus 6. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So my perimeter for this shape is 14, and this one is listed as centimeters, 14 centimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and label 14 centimeters. Awesome job. I want to end today by showing you guys a video on Brain Pop Junior, specifically on perimeter. So let's see if I can get it up. Remember, Ms. Smith isn't the best with technology and trying to figure all this stuff out. So let me see if I can pull it up. And then I need to share my screen. All right, here we go.
See if you can. There we go.
The rabbits keep stealing our vegetables, Moby. We should build a fence around our class garden. First, we'll need to figure out the perimeter. What is perimeter? The perimeter is the total distance around something. You can think of the perimeter as an outline around something. The lines in the grass show the perimeter of the soccer field. The fences show the perimeter of each piece of land. The map shows the perimeter of each state. But you can also find the perimeter of small things, like my notebook. Good question, Moby. How do you find the perimeter?
We already know the answer to this. To find the perimeter, what do? Add up all of the side lengths. Let's see what Annie says.
You can find the perimeter of a shape or figure by adding the lengths of all of its sides. Each side of this packet of seeds is 10 centimeters long. To find the perimeter, add the lengths together. 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. You can skip count by 10 to find the sum. 10, 20, 30, 40.
What would be the multiplication sentence we could write here? How many groups of 10 do we have? 4. So we could write 4 times 10, which gives us 40 as well.
The perimeter is 40 centimeters. Let's find the perimeter of the carrot section of the garden. To find the perimeter, add the lengths together.
Let's do the mental math quickly before Annie does. We see 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. Well, I see right away, I know 5 and 3, that makes 8. I'm going to add one of my 2's. 8 plus 2 makes 10. Add my second 2, 12. I think the perimeter is going to be 12 feet.
2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 5.
Remember, we can do it any order.
I know it's a long number sentence, so that's why I add the easier numbers first. Let's see. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So now I add 4 plus 3 plus 5.
See how she scratches out the numbers?
I know 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. 9 plus 3 is equal to 12. The perimeter of the carrot section is 12 feet. It's helpful to break up long number sentences into smaller ones to help you add. What's the perimeter of this shape? Add the lengths together to find out. 3 plus 5 plus 7. I know that 3 plus 7 is equal to 10. 10 plus 5 is equal to 15. So the perimeter of the shape is 15 centimeters. Figuring out the perimeter can help you build or design things. We want to build a fence that goes around our class garden. What's the perimeter of the garden? I know our class garden is 6 feet wide and 4 feet long. Add up all of the measurements to find the perimeter.
Let's do this one before Annie does. I'm going to do my doubles facts first. I see 6 plus 6, that makes 12. I'm going to keep 12 in my head. And I know 4 plus 4 makes 8. 12 and 8, oh, there's a tens fact. 12 and 8 makes 20. So my guess is 20 feet.
6 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4. I know that 6 plus 4 makes 10. So now I add 10 plus 10. That's equal to 20.
Now notice Annie did a different strategy for adding. What property tells us that it doesn't matter the order in which we add the addends? If you're thinking commutative property, you are correct. The commutative property of addition tells us we can add numbers in any order and still get the same sum.
The perimeter of the garden is 20 feet. Since we know the perimeter, we can figure out how much fencing we need to put around it. Then we can keep the rabbits out. Nice fence, Moby. I don't think any rabbits will get in our garden now. But I don't think we can get in either.
Now, I know you guys at home are probably thinking, Miss Smith, are we going to do the quiz? It's not the same doing the quiz without y'all. So maybe we can do it on our group Zoom chat this week. But that is it for us and perimeter for today. I will be posting your classwork along with this. It's just going to be a worksheet on irregular shapes like this where you are finding the perimeter. Thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.